I guess we could get into it. I guess I could answer the question about
All right, well,
first.
First. Remember, we always shill for YouTube.
Okay.
Shilling is very important. Yeah, Gavin is not the most comfortable person when it comes to shilling. He just wants to get right into it. But you know, we out here, we got to get into the grind. So
I want you to do the YouTube.
Oh,
intro.
Okay.
You guys are in for a treat.
All right, let's.
Have I ever done a YouTube intro?
Probably not. What's up, YouTube? How you doing? It's Charles, of course, here with Tweek on his own channel. We're going to be going over a tournament recap, the first offline tournament that Tweek went to since the Wi-Fi era. So it's going to be sick. If you guys like the content you've been seeing so far, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, ring the bell for more notifications for more videos. And let's get into it. I think a lot of people are curious in your character lineup, right? Because you worked on multiple characters throughout quarantine. So Sephiroth was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
And your Sephiroth is pretty nasty.
For the people that watch my practice streams often, you might not be as surprised as the general viewers from the tournament that might not know too much details about my current lineup, because they probably expected Sephiroth, especially because they might have been under the impression of, oh, he wasn't using Sephiroth in the World Tour, or he wasn't using Sephiroth online because it's too hard online. But in actuality, my lineup is actually kind of the mindset of, if I can use Diddy, I will. Sephiroth or Wolf are backups, and I'm very confident in my Diddy, even in like some of the weirder matchups, that I'll usually stick it out with Diddy Kong anyway. Sorry if that's a disappointment to people who wanted to see the Sephiroth, because I'm sure people did. I'm sure you will eventually, but Diddy Kong is like the core part of my game plan. The World Tour, that's how it worked. I just used Diddy for most sets, and then same with this event. I just used Diddy the whole tournament. So yeah, I guess we can get into the actual matches. So there was like a handful of groups of 4-person pools.
Yeah. So 16-man total invitational.
So I knew my pool before playing. So I knew my pool already. It was me, John Numbers, Suarez, and Sensei. So I think I was first seed, Numbers was second seed, Suarez was third seed, Sensei was fourth seed. So first seed versus fourth seed, which was me versus Sensei. Sensei used Snake. And I use Diddy. Snake versus Diddy is actually pretty tough sometimes. I think I have to take it really slow and make sure I'm not whiffing too hard in terms of like dealing with explosions. I like to hold on to Banana for a while because there's no really easy opening to, even if it does trip him, because there's always explosives around him. So it's definitely a slow matchup. I used a lot of monkey flip. I pressured like double jumps and stuff. Did you see it or commentate it, or?
I did. I didn't commentate it, but I watched it. It was interesting. At first, it felt like because I mean, this for me as well watching, it was like, okay, this is like literally his first offline match, right? So
true.
It was really interesting to see. I mean, very standard in terms of like you weren't committing too much. You were definitely feeling out the water.
Yeah.
I think with Snake players particularly, you really want to get a pattern on like how they act at disadvantage, because that's when you really like shit on the character, right? So you had really good monkey flips. I think like grenade walk-up shield is a very common Snake option, and I think monkey flip just completely destroys that. I think that part like is one of the bigger W's for Diddy. So when you do decide to go, and obviously you're not going to spam monkey flip, but when you do decide to go in, you have a very strong option that beats a very common option that Snake likes to go for.
Yeah, shielding like with the explosives around.
With the grenades, so they can like, oh, hopefully it pops and I can follow up an area. It's like standard Snake stuff, right? Yeah. But the neutral can be pretty tough. Just because, just in general, any character that outranges Diddy Kong's banana throw, not like, you gotta have quite a lot of range to do it, but there are a good amount of characters that do that. Snake is one of them. Also, Snake is very heavy, so if you don't get a down air kill, you are gonna be getting some of these KOs at the later percents, unless you get like a banana slip at edge into a forward smash, or if you get like a really good down air.
I feel like Snake's general game plan kind of naturally avoids some of the early kills, other than a down air setup.
Right.
So you're definitely right. It's hard work in neutral. I think it's really important to prioritize your own stock rather than figuring out how to get a lot of damage on Snake, because you want to get a lead and chip away at it, because that's what Snake is going to do really well to you as well. So you want to you want to avoid that. You want to avoid a deficit in any way, because Diddy Kong, I think, would have to work a bit too hard to make a big comeback. So I think my plan was like take it really slow in neutral, feel it out, and get a lead. That was like the general goal. It like, you know, things changed as the match went on, but so I played Suarez next because it looks like Suarez was the 3rd seed. Against Snake, I wanted to avoid getting hit by like, you know, damage I could have avoided. Like I don't want things to get out of hand, so it's like kind of like prioritizing my own stock rather than like, you know, pushing my advantage super hard. First Yoshi, it felt really similar. It's like, okay, like I can, you know, win the defensive battle. I can win neutral slowly but surely, because, you know, I think Yoshi naturally avoids like the big damaging setups, kind of like Snake. So the goal was to make sure, you know, I can get a lead and hold on to it, you know, but there's not as many explosives either. So I have a lot more access to my general moveset that I wasn't hitting super hard. But yeah, it was actually probably a nice coincidence that I played those matchups back to back, because the pacing was very similar. So I was ready for it.
You generally have a lot of Yoshi experience just because you live in Tri-State, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've played with Suarez before. I played with Miles a lot on Wi-Fi during quarantine, who was also at the event. And there's a lot of Tri-State Yoshi players. You know, against players that are jumping a lot, I try to just meet them halfway with a banana toss in the air. The reward isn't as crazy, but it's still like really important to let them know that I'm not afraid to do it. Like, you know, I'll just get a banana into aerial, like why not? The other important thing about Yoshi specifically, I forgot to mention, I'm not going to be able to edge guard the character because of the
drop banana.
Double jump. Sometimes they'll just ignore going to a ledge altogether, or the way they egg while they go to the ledge. I can't set up a Z-drop there because of the egg in the way. And the window between them throwing the egg and them grabbing the ledge is so small that like I just can't find a window. So you have to work for your kills too. So my next match was John Numbers, and I think if I lost the set, I'd be in loser's top 8, and if I won, I'd be in winner's top 8. So I was in top 8 either way.
This is a matchup we were actually concerned about in Smash World Tour. John Numbers actually got upsetted by a DDD player.
Yeah, like a round or two before playing me. So I almost played John Numbers in the World Tour as well. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Nintendo World Champion himself.
Yeah. Kind of inexperienced versus Wii Fit, and I've had a lot of close calls against Wii Fit in the past. I've dropped games against Wii Fit many times offline and probably online too. Wii Fit's a character that really freaks me out, and I think, you know, that's the type of character Diddy Kong might feel a little awkward against too. So this was the head-to-head I was worried about the most, not even just in the pools, probably in the whole tournament.
I think that the big thing is just in terms of like install characters or characters that buff themselves, obviously Accelerado and some of the hero ones are crazy, but those are more on the RNG side. Wii Fit has one of the better, if not best ones that are just like straight consistent.
Yeah.
Deep breathing is very insane. You take reduced knockback. A lot of people think you only get buffed in terms of your knockback or your damage output. So Wii Fit does, I believe Numbers said 25% increased damage, which thus increases your knockback of your moves. And you also take reduced knockback. Like Luigi can grab a Wii Fit with deep breathing.
A completely different like route, right?
No, they can do the same route, but it won't kill.
Okay, yeah.
Because like the damage reduction overall throughout all the multiple hits and on the finisher. I've seen them go for like the center, like the up air into up B, and they do the whole combo from 0, and Wii Fit doesn't die.
Yeah.
It's almost like Diddy, because Diddy's like you're fighting Diddy with banana and without banana. You're really fighting two different characters. And then Wii Fit's similar in a way where you're fighting Wii Fit with and without deep breathing.
Fighting, aka run for your life.
Yeah, and there was one crazy moment where you died to a sun salutation at like 80 or 90% with
off
deep
the
breathing.
top.
Off the top.
I was very surprised, and I learned afterwards that they buffed it. So yeah, I think game 1 went fine.
Yeah, you won game 1.
Yeah, the MVP of the set was John Numbers' willingness to stall recoveries or stay on the ledge, and it set up Z-drop theirs. Game 2, I'm trying to think of like important reasons as to why I lost.
I think that was the sun salutation killing you off the top was one of the stocks. Another one of the stocks was he did a really good, like, he had deep breathing and he hit you with the backside of forward tilt.
Yeah, like really fast.
He like tomahawked it.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I think he caught one of your jumps. So that was
I was like trying to get out of there, and I think he caught me before I could escape. But overall, like, that's a matchup that was like really worrying. I also, it's not even just Diddy, like, it's kind of personal for me too. Like, that matchup like freaks me out. Like I said, deep breathing is just so insane. And she's like faster too, so like it's hard for me to not just like fight her when she's like running at me so quickly. It's hard for me to get in the mindset of like get away.
Yeah.
Like, she's super dangerous, but it went well enough. I got my edge guards, so that's like all I can ask for, really. Is there anything else from the general tournament you'd like to talk about? I guess like other than just me, there's a lot of interesting things that happened. Tilde got like fourth with Falco.
Phenomenal Falco play.
Like,
I do think his pool was in favor of him matchup wise.
I don't remember the pool, but
the top seed in his pool is light, and I think Falco Fox is actually it's either even or slight Falco favor. Just my personal opinion. And then on top of that, like, I don't think Light has been super grinding, and I'm not making Johns for anyone, but like that's just something. Light played a lot of like Apex and other games during quarantine. Obviously Fox on Wi-Fi is not the funnest experience, but you know, I mean, shout out to all the Wi-Fi players regardless of what character they play that they grind. I think it's like we're seeing them reap the rewards of just grinding the game.
Yeah, Tilde seemed to improve a lot.
He was very good.
Yeah.
I was very impressed by like Tilde, Nixie, you know, some of the players that, you know, Twitter might try to like discredit them or discredit some of their accomplishments because they played on Wi-Fi, but like I'm glad that they were able to show up and show how much better they got at the game in an offline environment. I thought that was really
there was a lot of great matches. Leon did amazing, Tilde did amazing. There was like, it was just really fun event. So I played against Leon in winter semis. I had never played Leon before offline, which is pretty hilarious because we're both from New Jersey. Just never happened. I played Leon in the World Tour. That was my first time ever playing Leon in a tournament environment.
The first that you actually got 2 side switch kills, which was really big. I think Leon was super prepared for it. I think Bowser is a character where you can ledge trap very up close, especially after going for angle down forward tilt, which is what you should be going for in terms of 2-frame. And then if you miss the 2-frame, you can go into shield. And since Bowser has 1, a killing forward throw, and then 2, an up B out of shield, it's probably one of his stronger like ledge trapping stances, and he's probably one of the stronger characters at that ledge trapping stance. So I think he was trying to position mainly around there, and sometimes there's twice that you caught him not shielding. You got the banana slip.
Yeah, I don't think people know that we're talking about, like, I don't know if they saw I do this trick where I jump off the ledge and I hit you with a banana and I throw it down a second time after the first one trips you, and I'm on the other side and I F smash you to the closer blast zone.
Requires Diddy to have banana at the ledge, but essentially just ledge drop, double jump, throw a banana at them, and then as he's drifting past them, he Z grabs it, so there's a slight delay. He Z catches it, throws it back down, and he ends up on the other side.
Yeah.
And then can you get a slight charge, or do you just go into forward?
Yeah, you can get a charge.
And a slight charge. So he was killing Bowser very early for Bowser standards, probably like in
90, yeah.
Like 90, which is literally crazy. But again, I mean, that's just more so all the things that you've been working on with Diddy kind of coming to fruition. It was really sick to see. I think that the very first set against Leon, that was probably, in terms of like gameplay, probably your cleanest set. You played like extremely well that set.
Yeah, I think Bowser specifically, I'm able to bring out the bag of tricks. Z-drop there is really effective versus Bowser's recovery. So Bowser can't be Bowser too much in the sense of living too long. Surprisingly, you would expect Bowser to live really long against Diddy, which he can, but there's a lot of situations where Diddy Kong can actually prevent it and actually kill him earlier than he would kill characters in other matchups just because of how exploitable Bowser can be. But yeah, that set did go really well. And then winners finals was against TheBuzz. TheBuzz used a lot of min-min this tournament, which is really interesting just because a new character for TheBuzz, and I don't know if this was TheBuzz's first offline event since quarantine, but it was probably at least one of them, if not his first. So game 1 was actually Min Min versus Diddy. I think it went, I don't know if it went really well or just like well.
You didn't like shit on him. You did pretty well.
Okay.
I wasn't too like on paper. I think he plays Olimar or like of his character pool. But I think he wanted to test out the Min Min.
I think he has a lot of. We talked a lot about like before and after. About, just characters. We talked about Diddy Kong. He's a lot more optimistic for Min Min versus Diddy than I am. I think Diddy Kong would do well against an archetype like Min Min.
Yeah.
But I think TheBuzz has a lot of faith in Min Min, his own Min Min and Min Min in general, which is completely fair. It's not like I'm like objectively right or something. But yeah, TheBuzz did end up going Olimar, like you said. We feel like Olimar is probably TheBuzz's on paper best pick versus Diddy Kong. He didn't try Rosa, so there's still more to
explore.
There's more stuff to explore. Min Min is a lot, newer. Like, I've been playing Olimar for a long time throughout Smash in general, so if I was like, telling TheBuzz what to do, I wouldn't try to restrict him too much. I respect that he's, figuring it out at his own pace. But he did go Olimar after game 1. He wins game 1. I don't think I ever caught up. It went. I feel like held on to the lead. It was like pretty close, I think. Game 2, I think I like made a comeback, kind of similar to game 2, but I won.
Yeah.
Like, because I think I was trailing for those 2 games.
Right.
And then game 3, I think I held on to a small lead the whole time. There were some key moments that just like got me the set. I wouldn't say I played incredible, but at the same time, like I said, against Olimar, I feel like there's so many situations where it's hard to avoid big damage. So I'm kind of playing keep up a lot, which is, I was expecting it, so, no complaints there. Grand Finals was versus Leon because Leon ended up taking TheBuzz out.
Which was crazy.
Crazy game 5 set.
There's a reason this is called Momentous. It's the best competition that you are likely to find in the world right now. And look at this at the ledge. This is not. Sit on him!
Yeah, that Leon TheBuzz set was wild.
Yeah. Leon in general, in winter semis, just went on like a small losers run.
Yeah, and I feel like Leon is growing so much as a player as of recently. Like, it's really cool to see someone that plays the heavy and knows how to utilize like the strengths. Obviously, heavies have a lot of weaknesses, but they also have a lot of strengths at the same time. And Leon, even though some of the risk reward like at surface level might look a little like crazy or wild, like that's the kind of plays Bowser players have to make to win. Like that, that you have to.
It's entertaining.
You have to do that.
It's very entertaining because you don't see many players with that. Like Leon with Banjo against my Diddy, which was a smart play. I know Leon plays some Banjo,
some
Bowser Jr., Hero, Game & Watch. Leon plays a handful of characters, but I don't think he plays anyone as much as Bowser.
His Bowser's.
So definitely like a pocket thing rather than like, oh, I main this character with Bowser. It's not like that. And Banjo can control the pace, deal with Banana and Monkey Flip better than Bowser. So it was definitely a lot slower. He didn't land any Wonder Wings or something like that, so it was doable for me. And then he went back to Bowser the rest of the set. I forget which game he won with Bowser. Was it just the next game?
I believe so, yeah. I believe it was game 2.
Okay. Yeah, I think Leon had a lot of momentum from losers and was playing really well. And was just like overwhelming with some of the crazy decisions. But I don't think game 2 was crazy. I think it was doable.
Yeah, and then the thing with Leon too, it's like he does make, does have those really hard read moments, but he also has a lot of consistency too. When it comes to his ledge trapping and his 2-frame is so good.
I think it's like the down tilts and F tilts.
Yes,
and the up Bs to put you back off stage. Like he definitely isn't just like do or die by the reads, like you said. There's a lot of consistency in his advantage state.
Yes.
Like after getting the openings, yeah, you're right. It's like a traditional character. Like he has great ledge trapping, like you said. But yeah, I think it went really well, game 3.
Yeah, I know the very last game, which was game 4.
Was last hit.
That was the one where you went for the double dare.
No, that was game 3 was the one I went for the double.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like I had a significant lead.
Game 3 was the close one then.
No, game 3 was like I was at 1 stock, 0%, but I went for the crazy double spike, but it just worked out anyway.
Oh, that's right.
So it wasn't too like, it wasn't like a close game. Game 4 was last hit to end the tournament, I think. I think we were both like triple digits.
Yeah.
So yeah, not much to say other than I think Leon, cleaned up his play from winners. I think Leon was adapting a bit, so that was impressive. Leon had a bunch of great sets in losers too. That's always respectable to just make it back to grand finals or something after losing in winners, because that's not easy. Props to TheBuzz too, because TheBuzz probably used the most characters out of all of us, which is really interesting. TheBuzz used a lot of Rosa, a lot of Min, and a lot of Olimar, and it was a really interesting balance too. It was pretty equal. But yeah, if you guys have any specific questions, feel free to ask, whether it's about the general tournament or my matches. But yeah, it was really fun.